I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. Mark, the ministry dude here. Today's the 21st day of July 2021. It's a Wednesday. Hump day, everybody. Halfway through the week. Well, after today, you will be. Today's the middle day. Well, today we're going to talk about what the Bible has to say about longevity. I've known my grandfather lived to be 96 years old. Of course, my dad passed away. He was 76. My mom, she's 86 now? Yep. She's 85 or 86. Let's see if she was born. Yep, 85. Just had to figure it out there for a minute. My wife's mom, she's 87, I believe. And her dad passed away when he was 76. They passed away a month apart. It was a tough time there back in 2006. Her dad passed and then mine passed. Within a couple of months of each other, or within a month of each other. It was a devastating time for us. Yep. But, the Lord called him home. Well, let's start today with our opening prayer. What do you say about that, huh? Can't argue too much with me, can you? Don't forget to like and share our videos, too. We bring you these to enlighten your daily life. Oh, we got a long opening prayer today. Jesus, I want to unite my life to your life, my thoughts to your thoughts, my affections to your affections, my heart to your heart, my work to your works, my whole self to your whole self, in order to become, through this union, more holy and more pleasing in the sight of your Father, and in order to make my life more worthy of your grace and of the reward of eternity. I want to join your intentions to my intentions, the holiness of your actions to mine, and the excellence of your lofty virtues to the lowliness of mine. And when in some of my works I discover something not inspired by your Spirit, and which proceeds rather than from my self-centeredness, or from some poorly mortified affection, I will renounce it and disown it with my whole heart. No, my Jesus, I promise myself to have nothing in me which is not in union with your lofty virtues. Amen. Boy, what a beautiful script opening prayer that was today. Now let's see what our reading here is today. I remember earlier telling you something about longevity. Make friends and live longer. Ointment and perfume delight the heart, and the sweetness of a man's friend gives delight by hearty counsel. According to the New York Times, researchers are paying attention to the role of friendship in our overall health. It reports a 10-year Australian study found that older people with a large circle of friends were 22% less likely to die during the study period than those with fewer friends. A study of middle-aged Swedish men found that those with quality friendships were much more likely to survive coronary heart disease. Another study of women battling breast cancer found that friendship circles had a dramatic influence on survival rates. Friendship has a bigger impact on your psychological well-being than family relationships, says one sociologist. Long ago, the writer of Proverbs said that a good friendship is to the heart what oils and medicine are to the body. Encouraging our friends and being encouraged by them is a conduit of blessings to our lives. We should cherish our relationships, pray for our friends, and fellowship warmly with those whom God brings across our paths. It's good for what ails us. A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. Walter Winchell said that. So you know what we should get out of that reading? Get rid of your family and get more friends. Yeah, just kidding. Yep. If you got a circle of friends, if you have a lot of friends, I don't really have a whole lot of friends. I mean, I've got some friends, people that I know, but I don't really associate with them. When I was younger, I had a lot of friends because I was out drinking in the bars, and you got pals and buddies, and you got girlfriends, and it's just you're more social. But when you get a little bit older and you tend to you get married and you settle down a little bit, then you don't really have such a big circle of friends. But according to the reading here, circle of friends is important, especially as you get older. Like you're in your 60s, 70s, or maybe if you're like, I think they mean more like if you're like a widower, like if you're single or like that, friends are more important. But if you have a spouse, then you got to have friends together too. Because if you have a friend that your spouse don't like, then it's going to cause, bitterness in the relationship. You don't want that. You want to have a good, healthy relationship. I know me and my wife, we're both in our 60s, and we have a few people that we could call friends, I guess is what you could say. I mean, we have our daughter here and her boyfriend. I guess we could call him a friend. He's, he helps us out when we need stuff and like that. Our grandson Richie, he helps us. Our granddaughter Elizabeth, not so much. And then we got other family, but they live in the other states, so they're not close. But I mean, when we was going to church, we had people that were friendly towards us, but we didn't hang out with them like that. It's just today you just never know what people, unless you got like a best friend that you grew up with and you hang around with them all the time. But I moved away from my hometown, and she moved away from her, so we really don't have friends that we grew up with that we were close with. So it just, you got to make new friends. Now I made friends when I worked in a factory. I had friends and like that, but I didn't hang out with them because most of them were they like to drink beer and like that. And I don't do that stuff. I did that years ago. It gets you. It puts you. Alcohol's a depressant. Now, marijuana makes you feel a little bit better. I mean, I liked smoking that when I was younger. I'll say that. I like beer too. But it got to be a habit. An expensive habit. And it controls your life, and you don't want that. You want to be in control of your own life. You want Jesus in your life too to help you control your life. Not alcohol or drugs I even give up cigarettes. I mean, I'm glad I did because, with this COVID going around, you imagine if I feel sorry for people that are smokers that had this COVID because I bet they could barely breathe. I mean, this stuff was bad. I had a little spell here a few days ago where I started getting a little bit on the dizzy side and shortness of breath, and I went to the doctors, and they said that I may have a touch of vertigo or something, but they gave me some medicine. I took a prescription, one of the pills that they gave me. Boy, it knocked me right out. And then after that, I felt good. And they said, just to take one whenever you needed it, but I haven't needed it since then. I got an inhaler too for the shortness of breath because I smoked for probably 25 or 30 years, so I imagine my lungs look like, Yucca Flats after a big blast or something, It's just, but, they say that the body heals itself. So, I get a little bit more winded when the older I get. But, I'm still pretty active. I work, outside a little bit around the house, mow the yard, and I get a little woodworking shop. I make stuff because we got the 127 yard sale coming up, so we got to get stuff ready. All right, let's read some scriptures about longevity, shall we? I thought we would. Psalms 91:16. With a long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Proverbs 9:11. For by me your days will be multiplied and years will be added to your life. Proverbs 3:16. Long life is in her right hand, and her left hand are riches and honor. You see, if you let the Lord wants you to prosper. He wants you to, he wants you to grow, and he wants you to help people too. I mean, I see this in the world all the time. These, there's wealthy, like, I was reading this thing. This guy, or I don't know whether it was a man or a woman, they didn't really say. They won $55 million. They lived in California. They won $55 million in the California lottery. And they didn't tell any of their family, or they didn't tell their friends, or they didn't tell anybody, really. You know, so they got all this money sitting in the bank doing nothing. You know, and they should be helping people with it, you know. I mean, yeah, you know, if your relatives find out you got $55 million in the bank, they're going to hound you. But, you know how many people you could help with that money? Even, you know, if you've got relatives that are suffering like that, you know, if they find out you got that kind of money, they're going to resent you in later years in life. So, you know, maybe it's just, you could just say, well, hey, I've had some money saved up for a while. I know you need a little help here. Here's a few $1,000s or whatever, you know. I mean, you don't have to tell them you got $55 million, but, you know, that money just sitting there ain't doing anybody any good. And you sitting there holding it in the bank or wherever you might be, it ain't doing nobody else any good. The only one making money off that is a bank. They're using your money to make more money with. It ain't, you know, maybe you got it in a savings account or something. What are you getting, 1% maybe on it? You know, maybe $50,000 a year you're making on it, but you're still making money on it. So, or if maybe you got to invest in something, I don't know, take some of that money and share it, spread it out, you know, just like, you know, like people like Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and, you know, Elon Musk, they need to share their money, you know, spread it around a little bit instead of worrying about flying taking a rocket to space or whatever. I mean, you know, I know it's, you know, some people have goals and like that, which is good. But, you know, in the government, they waste tons of money every year. I mean, it's ridiculous. They spend all that money, and it's the taxpayers' money too, so they really don't care. That'd be like you know, handling somebody else's money. You don't really care, you know, about it. Like a lot of these places that, you know, take care of other people's money, you know, like investment advisors, they get their fee no matter if you make money or not. So, you know what I suggest? I suggest you study and learn how to invest yourself so you don't have to pay these fees. Because I know when I had a 401k years ago, you know, I'd see they was charging me fees. You know, some of these fees were, you know, a couple $100 a month. I mean, and that's a couple $100 a month that could be in my pocket, not in their pocket. So, you know, maybe you better, you know, learn a little bit about money, because that's something that you're really not taught in school, even in college, unless you take an economics course or a course about, you know, money investments and like that. They don't teach you about that stuff because they want to keep all them secrets and like that to themselves. They don't want you to have any. They don't want you to be prosperous. Even though the government says, you know, we want to help small businesses and like that, they don't care. All they care about is their own pockets. They don't care about your pocket or my pocket or anybody's pockets. They care about themselves. And that's that's human nature, really, to care about yourself first. You know, take care of yourself first, but, you know, help others too while you're at it. That's the way life should be. Instead of just me, you know, it should be okay. But, you know, you don't have to go overboard on it. You got, you know, a few $1 million in the bank, you don't have to spend it all on somebody. A couple $1,000s is fine, you know. Go down to the local soup kitchen and donate some money to them, or, you know, help the homeless or something, you know. I seen a thing yesterday on TV. They're going to start cracking down on don't give money to panhandlers. Yeah, which is, you know, I mean, some of these people, they're out in the street and they disrupt traffic and like that. I see them down here in the next town down, Cookeville. They're standing on the off ramp and beg for money because the Cookeville Rescue Mission is right down the road there. So they walk up here, you know, maybe they need some money for wine or booze or something. All right, here's our closing prayer. Sleep, my soul, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels God will send thee all through the night. Slow the drowsy hours of creeping, hill and vale and some slumber sleeping. God his loving virgil keeping all through the night. Amen. Woo, man, that's a tongue twister, isn't it? This is Mark, the ministry dude, saying we love you. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to like and share our videos, please. Thank you.